Hey everybody, welcome. I'm a little ahead of the game tonight on this one, so but we'll at least ink the characters. So that's pretty good. Hope everybody's Wednesday is going well. And as always, if you have any questions or anything, just interrupt me and ask in the chat, and I'll jump over and keep an eye on it. Cut that down. If you've been hanging out before, you might notice that there's a serious lack of music going on because I just cannot for the life of me get the music to be correct for Twitch and YouTube at the same time. I'd really like to sort of export these videos after I do them so that they can go on my YouTube channel, which is called Kev Draws. But I did that a few nights ago, and I ended up with like a whole bunch of cease and desists from the artist. Even though it said that they were okay for Twitch, I guess they're not okay for YouTube, which makes sense because it's a different company. So no more music for the time being. So while I'm drawing, it's pretty, you know, silent and deadly in here. But hopefully there's a solution somewhere. Maybe I need to check into GarageBand or something like that. I don't know. So we'll see. But in the meantime, the art must go on. We've seen these two characters a lot on the stream. I think it's about time to branch out and get some of the other guys and gals in the strips. But you always got to do what serves the story best. So and that is what we're going to do. Excuse me. That got a little thin. These guys are just too much fun to draw. But like I said earlier, I think it would be nice to get back to some of the other gnomes and characters and good guys and bad guys here pretty soon. It's going to be interesting because some of those guys I haven't drawn in a while, so we'll we'll see how that goes. to start practicing. Get a little bit of texture there. Somebody told me on the actual website where these comics run at legendofbill.com, told me that this guy's arm looks like a pickle by the way I'm drawing the scales and stuff. I was like, okay. So at least I've always got a career as a pickle illustrator, apparently. A little too far there. I love experimenting with different ways to sort of hatch, cross-hatch, render, shade in digital. Just to kind of see what works and what doesn't. Like that, don't like it. It's okay on the backpack, but man. Keep it a little more traditional. Toll Dog.
How's it going?
Hey, hey, what's up?
Oh, you know. Same old, same old.
Everybody say hey to Toll Dog.
Petting the cats, eating some pizza, watching you draw. It's a good night.
Another Wednesday, another strip. I was just telling the stream that I'm getting tired of drawing these guys in this cave, so it's about time to branch out.
I If only we could get the guy in charge of the story to work on that location.
Well, you know. Well, the other thing I said was whatever serves the story, and right now the story's been served by them being here, so that's what has to happen.
Well, maybe they are entering a spot in the cave where it's just bright white. The whole cave.
the whole thing.
The whole area.
Somehow I don't think so.
You just put the sun behind them, shining through the cave.
Yeah, we'll get back to the sun soon. We'll get out there eventually. But not before it's time. Not before it's ready.
Have you seen the Papa John's cheeseburger pizza?
I saw the advertisement for it.
The bacon cheeseburger?
Yeah.
The best part about it is they put pickles on it.
I could probably get behind that.
I thought that was going to be a horrible decision at first, and then it's been what's made me order it multiple times.
Well, I mean, we used to have this place back home called Pizza Inn that had cheeseburger pizza back when I was in high school.
Right.
And it was amazing, and they put pickles on it. So, it's not like Papa John's is innovating here. It just means that he went to Spartanburg.
No, I'd never accused John of innovating anything.
We had that. We had cheeseburger pizza before we had the internet.
I don't think how many people realize how different things were before the internet. Like, I'm just trying to think of what it was like before having a smartphone. You know? Just having a normal cell phone.
I remember what it was like. I distinctly remember that.
I mean, you remember when we got the sidekicks?
Yeah, yeah.
How big a deal that was. It was like, what? You can web browse and you can chat?
Yeah.
Like, really chat? It's not like texting?
Yeah, that was their whole thing was like, nope, AOL Instant Messenger. Bam.
Yeah. And for realsies, it didn't cost you any text fees.
Right.
The other ones did.
Right. Which was awesome. Awesome-o. Yeah, dude, because when Michaela, my daughter, when she was born, I distinctly remember, because she was born in 2007, so I distinctly remember being in the hospital watching the news as people lined up for the first iPhones.
Well, I remember us joking about you, because you were right next to the Apple store, too.
Yeah.
And you're like, which is more important, Kevin?
The hospital was right there at the Apple store. And I still waited years.
Yeah. Oh, you made the right decision. Your daughter's a good kid.
Yeah, that's true. That was probably a good decision. especially for that first gen iPhone. Because come on.
That's true. Who wants the first generation anything? Although we could consider her the first release of the VASI, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So your son would be the improved model.
Version 2. Not at all. Keep talking, turtle face. He would actually be very upset because he's not a turtle, he's a tortoise.
Oh, boy. And there's fighting words.
Yeah, I did a strip about that.
Did you?
Yep. Yeah, it did not go well.
What's the difference? The tortoise is like the
Land dwelling.
all land, yeah, always land dwelling.
Yeah.
Where the turtle's more amphibious.
Yep. Turtles live in sewers.
Except for sea turtles. They live in sea sewers.
That's right.
Have you seen that yet?
Seen what?
The new TMNT.
Yeah. We went to see it. We took the kids.
Well, I know they saw it before you did.
Yeah.
And you didn't want any spoilers.
Yeah, we went to see it again.
That's great.
And it was good. I mean, it was basically just a live action version of the cartoon show, you know? I mean, it was
That's how it should be.
That's all you could want.
I wish more movies would do that. You know?
There was no need to talk about origin. There was no need to talk about any of that. It was just like, bam,
Right.
Turtles, New York villains, stuff's happening. Let's go.
Well, I think that's probably one of the biggest complaints with a lot of these movies, where the director feels like they have to give their own origin story to a character and relaunch that character.
Right.
And it's like, well, just show me that character doing something cool instead of spending an hour and a half telling me about what planet he came from and what the politics were.
Right.
You know, you're going to George Lucas this before too long. And be about the Galactic Senate and not about Superman. Right?
Yeah, so I was saying earlier in the stream, I don't know if you caught it, that I just had to stop playing music. Because although I was using the Twitch FM Spotify channel, which was great, except for the fact, well, it was great on Twitch, but then as soon as I exported the video to YouTube, I got, no kidding, 15 cease and desists for each track that played during the video.
Right, right.
And I was like, what? And the subject of the email was from YouTube. It was like an automated thing. It was like, cease and desist, but you're not in trouble yet.
Right, right, because they want to say, okay, this may you may be in violation of copyright.
Yeah.
But
well, I deleted the video immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, I've read a lot of things recently about that, where people have been using YouTube's. They've been using that to pull down videos they didn't like, claiming copyright. Because somebody did a parody video of this one guy, and he claimed copyright to take the video down.
No
So
kidding.
now they're actually fighting. They're actually fighting the thing, and they're going to try to fight it in court.
Really?
Yeah.
I understand that. I mean, I would have no intention of taking anything away from the artists that made those songs. I just figured that if they were royalty free as it is, then
Right. Well,
But-
my guess is that even though they're royalty free, they're probably protected by some company, and that company has a bot that just scans, and it doesn't care how you got the stuff, and the whole process to say no, this is really okay, takes way too long.
yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was looking at. Was I figured it was a bot because that's the only way to sort of scan that stuff coming in, But I like didn't want to appeal and ugh. So I was just like, you know what? I'll just take the video down, and from now on, silent stream.
Yeah, and there may be some people who license specifically for Twitch, but they don't license for like YouTube.
Well, that's kind of made sense to me too, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's where the whole thing gets really convoluted. That's why almost like what the venues have to do is they just pay a fee, right?
Yeah.
And then any music is okay.
I was saying in stream earlier, somebody at the website wrote and was like, that arm looks like a pickle because of the way I was drawing the scales.
A good old pickle arm.
They were like, his strong magical pickle arm.
Well, maybe they just gave you an idea for another character. Mr. Pickle Arm.
Thank you, sir.
Although we all know that cucumbers do not have arms.
Yeah, I don't put too much weight on it.
And it's not like the arm is green or anything, right?
No, it's not green.
Oh, okay.
Although he is sort of slowly hulking out. Slowly.
The world's slowest, enragement.
Yeah, that's right. More pickle.
You won't like me when I'm angry. Come back in 10 years and I may show you.
I'm surprised the veggies haven't done that with all the superhero hype that's happening these days.
All right. They may have. I mean, it's hard to keep up anymore. Between all the television stuff and this half-hour videos.
Here's a story about why you shouldn't get angry with the cucumber that turns into the Hulk.
Call him the Incredible Bulk. Or Inedible Bulk.
So I was driving home today, and I was coming down the road in front of the neighborhood, and as soon as I had turned onto the street, this kid gets behind me in a expensive cream-colored SUV. It was like a GMC or a Cadillac, something like that, Escalade. And he's like swerving behind me, like doing the fishtail kind of thing, you know?
Wow. Okay.
I can tell he wants me. I mean, not fishtailing, but I can tell that he's not happy with me doing the speed limit.
So he's doing the pace car keep your tire warm thing.
Yeah, back behind me.
Yep.
So eventually, I get to a point where it's 2-lane road with a double yellow line in the middle, and he comes around me.
Well, of course.
Like guns it and comes around me, and just goes flying up the road, in the opposite direction. And I was going, what in the world? So then, to his chagrin, he gets up to near the entrance to the neighborhood, and there's a white panel truck that pulls out.
Oh no!
So he's right behind the panel truck, and he starts doing the same thing, the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So then he goes around the panel truck. So at this point, I'm like, all right, well, this is a young guy, and I feel like his car is probably not his. It's probably mom and dad's. So
Sure.
I'm gonna follow him because he's in one of the neighborhoods that we're all a part of here.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
see-
live in a small area. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna see who this kid is. So he goes around the panel truck into oncoming traffic, across the double yellow line, into a double yellow median, right? To go around him, kicks up this big cloud of dust, and I'm watching him go around, and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna follow him, see where he goes, and he turns in front of the elementary school of all places, and heads into that neighborhood that's down there. Well, I look over to my left, and lo and behold, there's a police officer sitting there.
Nice.
And I went, ha ha, police officer doesn't move. And I went, what? So I pull up at the red light, and I look over at the police officer, and I start motioning toward the guy who has gunned it, right? And is way down into the neighborhood at this point. And she looks at me, and then tells me to come around and talk to her, you know?
Yeah.
So I flip my Jeep around, and I go back to talk to her, and she gets out of the car and starts approaching my car, and I'm like, did you not see that white SUV? And I explained the whole thing, and she's like, no, I must have had my head down. Sorry, I didn't see a thing.
Yeah, I didn't see my coworker's son go flying by you.
And I was like, are you, what, huh, what? Just absolutely, like, she could tell I was
Right.
just flabbergasted. I was like, you didn't see that at all? And I explained the thing again, and she was like, that's super dangerous, and I didn't see it. She was like, if he comes back again, though, and I'm like, oh.
Well, that's why a lot of people are getting dash cams nowadays.
If I ever see that kid again, though, man, he's gonna get somebody, he's gonna get some other child, like, you know, hurt or killed.
Yeah.
I am absolutely all for younger people getting a driver's license because, man, I know when I got mine, I loved it. But you gotta take care of that.
They gotta behave correctly. There needs to be, you know, some sort of restrictions on it. Keep them from doing, you know, sort of protect them from being themselves, right?
Yeah. Because it's like, man, but I could not believe that cop didn't see anything. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Craziness. Hey, Toon Rock, how are you doing? Yep, and we are working on the strip tonight. Are you having a good Wednesday? Or I guess, did you have a good Wednesday?
Yeah, best part about Wednesday is it means that there's only 2 days left.
Yep, that's right.
Ugh. You know, I never thought I'd sound like the stereotypical, like, sitcom factory worker, but
Working hard or hardly working, buddy?
that's right.
Bah. Can't let that tangent happen.
Old pen tablet.
Your old Wacom tablet? Oh, there you go. Dude, in 203 is a good tablet. That's the gray one, right?
Is that the one that actually worked under Linux?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Intuos 2 was blue, if I'm not mistaken, like navy blue, and then the 3 was the gray, 4 was black, and then the Pro tablet is what they have now, which feels like weird and rubbery to me. But that's great. Yeah, before I got spoiled with the Cintiq, I used a tablet. I don't know if I could still. I should do that one night. I should stream with a tablet. It'd probably just be a novelty to me, though. Everybody else that still uses one would be like, "Yeah, so you're drawing with a tablet."
And then the ones who don't go, why is he not using a
Cintiq? Yeah.
Cintiq?
What's wrong with him?
Oh, look, he's going retro.
Yeah, you know what, Toonrog, you don't need a 4 or 5, man. The 3 is, it's plenty fine. Plenty fine. I mean, the fact that you got an Intuos, you're good to go. You can do everything I'm doing with that tablet without a problem.
How often do you find yourself needing the extra pressure sensitivity?
The Intuos 3 has plenty of pressure sensitivity. I think it's
right.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's fine. I read somewhere online that a lot of the argument about pressure sensitivity never really happens. Like the argument happens, but that technically the device, you know, even if it does like 2056 or whatever, you don't really utilize it as a human being. Like the amount of pressure that you're going to put can be registered in the 1024 spectrum, so.
Oh, right, but I mean, who has that muscle control? Right?
Well, I'm sure a lot of artists do that, you know, do this on a super daily basis instead of just like I do, but.
You think they can actually do 1,000 different pressures? Or do you think it's more like when they're subtly picking up, it gives the trail off that you're looking for?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with the brush too. The cool thing,
sure.
The cool thing about Manga Studio that I'm learning is that you can have your custom curve. I don't know if you can see that in the stream or not, but you can actually build a custom pressure curve based on how you draw, right? So. Like you can get it back there, so I can come over here and actually do a stroke with the pressure that I want, and then it will graph it for me.
So you can come on heavy and then let off.
Yeah, so you can like, you know, make the kind of stroke that you normally make. Usually pulling towards you is the best line. But you can see it like set that curve for me. So now, so this is going to be the weird part though. So now when I draw, it totally changes what kind of pressure I have to put on the pen. And that feels weird. You see how I get thicker much quicker now, like right there?
Yeah.
It's an interesting look, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, the airbrush pen, Toon Rock. I've never actually tried the airbrush pen, so I tried the art pen. That was awesome. I enjoyed it, although it got squeaky really quick on the screen. So I'll be interested to hear how the airbrush pen treats you. Yeah, see, so if I go back to my pressure settings and we'll do initial. You see how it just got like medium really quick? Like right here,
Yeah.
it just came right out the gate pretty strong. And it's one of those things too where I typically tend to have a heavy hand. Like I've always had a really heavy pressured hand when I drew. And I'm working really hard to try and get a lighter touch, because when you actually ink on paper or board, you are going to have a brush typically if you're pretty traditional about it. And you've got to have a super light, steady hand for the brush. For obvious reasons, because if you don't, you're just going to bend it all.
Right. Right.
Now, this would be interesting. Let's do the opposite of the curve it gave me. Just kind of like that. See how that works. I bet that's crazy. Yeah, now that's actually... that's actually probably more like a brush for real. Maybe a little off, but...
Now, does this have like a concept of like the roughness of the paper or the how the ink may bleed?
No. I mean, you can.
Okay.
It does have a watercolor module that you can use, like watercolor brushes, that you can
Sure.
totally do that with. But oh, hey, Toonrod. Yeah, see you later, man. Thanks for stopping by. And keep me up to date when you get your tablet and start doing some stuff. You're gonna have fun. Yeah, so this is interesting. So bending that curve the other way, it's definitely more like a brush. Like a real brush. That actually, that'll be a good challenge, actually. I think I'm going to leave that.
Get used to drawing that way.
Yeah. Just to see if that helps, like when I go to conventions and stuff, when I have to draw live with an actual brush pen, because they don't.
All right.
Like, you know, you have to be very careful, very very sleight of hand with it. Let's still, I mean, it feels a little overzealous compared to a brush pen, so that's probably a little bit better. Yeah. See, the other thing too is I should have turned it to pivot on my hand. Which is something I would do if I had a brush. It's funny how digital kind of makes you sloppy.
Right? Because you can quickly undo.
Yeah, well, if it's like if I had a brush, I would have done that line and then been like, are there any other lines? Oh, yeah, this one. But with digital, I was so quick to swing the paper and then be like, oh, yeah, same thing on this side.
It's a lot like using a digital camera for the first time where you realize you can just take thousands of photos.
Right.
I was reading some photographers who were saying that the more they get to understand their particular style and the gear that they have and everything.
You can't see that, but I just killed a baby mosquito on my finger.
Nice.
Awesome.
The more repetitions and iterations they get, the less photos they end up taking.
Yeah.
You know?
I can see that.
You know, it's like you may go out, your first shoot you go out and take 1,000 photos, but 2 years later after you get used to it, you may take 15. You still have 10 good photos regardless of how many you take.
Sounds like that's like a topic for an Onion article that's more like digital photographer figures out how to shoot on film.
Yeah. The strange but true style. Where it's like, is this an Onion article or is it not?
Well, it's like, it's devoting that time to like, eventually you'll get good enough to where you're only going to shoot 15. It's like you realize that people would go out with rolls of film.
Right. And you know that every extra photo you took was that much longer in the darkroom. And that many more chemicals you had to pay for. And
well, I mean, you only had like a maximum of 24 on your roll, maybe 36. Mm-hmm. So that was it. Like, I'm not even going for anatomy on these neck vertebrae here. We're going for communication. Is that a skeleton? Yep. Good.
It sure looks like one. Let me ask my doctor friend if it's correct.
Yeah. I'm going to show this. I'm showing this comic to the chiropractor. He said that that's not how that looks.
Unless that person has this sort of crippling disease. So the skeleton better get checked out soon.
Yeah, well, this guy's been gnawed on, and he's been sitting here a while, clearly, so,
And who's to say that skull and that spine belong together? They may be from two different bodies.
Yeah. He's clearly missing his jaw, so, I'm not saying he saw some action, but he saw some action. Yeah, you gotta have a super light hand. I like those lines. Get out of here. Somebody's gonna be like, it's not what a skull looks like.
You never said that it was human.
Sir, you have offended me.
I shall no longer read your free comic.
Dude, you'd be surprised. You have not entertained me.
I'm going to find your nearest competitor and post links to it on all your blogs. He didn't even look up skull reference before he drew that. Oh.
And those
noob.
Those black eyes are like stuck on.
Look how huge they are.
That's
Looks like some sort of cartoon skull.
That's it. I'm boycotting.
Well, see, that's what it is. It's a dead cartoon character. That makes a lot more sense.
Ever since I killed that mosquito, now I'm like, they're crawling all over me.
I'm reading a list of rules people have for watching anime, and one of them, probably the most intelligent one so far, is um, always use a straw so your cup lid doesn't get in the way of the subtitles.
What?
Well, think about it. If you're sitting there watching and you bring your cup up to your mouth, it's going to block the subtitles.
No, that's true.
You know, and I just never thought about that. I'm like, that's brilliant. I mean, I always have a sippy bottle, so I don't have to worry about that. But
You mean like a water bottle?
yeah. No, I like to think of it as a sippy bottle, like a 3-year-old would carry around.
Yep, it's a sippy cup.
Oh, my juice. Juice.
Saving. He didn't say shavings, he said savings. Save. Bam. Words. All right. Rock and roll, everybody. Another strip inked live on the Twitch.
Eventually, people start to believe you're really an artist.
Saved. Oh, wait for it. They will never, ever believe such things, Toldog. Never. Never. I give them no reason for that. All it takes is a quick trip through the other Twitch creative channels, and it's like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
If I wanted to see some guy learn how to draw, just watch myself. Pickle fingers.
I wonder if he's related to Pickle Chips.
Ralph Waldo.
Yeah, Ralph Waldo Esquire.
All right, now another strip is inked on the Twitch. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. And Toon Rog, if you're still around, thanks for stopping by. And we will see you again soon. As usual, I'll stop on 3, 2,